Guys, this is Ashley back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications. So, Nicki Minaj has the upper hand and could possibly get Botchin' Pregnant's budget removed or shelved at her label, okay, Titanic Records. It's been reported that Lucian Grange, the CEO of Universal Music Group, which, Nicki Minaj is signed to that label, Champagne Thickums, The Weeknd, the big names, the chart-obsessed racists, and his son, Elliot, who's the CEO and founder of 10K Records, I believe Ice Spice and 6ix9ine are under that label, recently appointed to CEO of Titanic Music Group, will collectively control about 37.6% of the U.S. recorded music market, okay? So this is going to be very interesting because they're moving to Titanic Records and still will be in control of Republic as for now. Julie Greenwald got fired. I got the tea on that on Patreon. Link in description, but that because Lucian, who is the head of Universal, and Nicki Minaj is signed to Universal / Republic Records, Nicki could be doing business with Titanic Records because Lucian allegedly will be working with Titanic Records too, which is going to be very interesting for Botched, Pregnant, Divorce, Bitter and Broke, and Nicki Minaj, okay? Maybe, Lucian and Elliot could get Nicki and Botchin' Pregnant to do a collaboration. Botchin' Pregnant need it because she hasn't had a hit since Up. She hasn't had a big hit since Up and Walk. So she needs it more than ever. So it's going to be very interesting. But I also think that this could help Nicki possibly, maybe get a bigger budget. They can probably take some of Botchin' Pregnant's budget because at the end of the day, she ain't got no hits. The album ain't coming out till maybe later on this year or 2025, but who knows because she's pregnant. But with that being said, Nicki clearly is more marketable because she does more in sales. She did 200,000 first week. None of the other female rappers are doing that, and I don't think Botchin' Pregnant could do over 200,000 organically. Okay? So, it's going to be very interesting to see if Botchin' Pregnant and Nicki Minaj will be forced to work together now that they basically are going to be under the same CEOs. It's going to be very interesting. And I think Nicki could definitely use this to her advantage to get a bigger budget, especially since Botchin' Pregnant hasn't had a hit in years. All her releases have flopped. And on top of that, she's been ranting on social media instead of being in the studio. So I think their best bet is to push Nicki Minaj. Nicki can get that Titanic payola. That Titanic payola can go to Nicki Minaj, and we can leave Botchin' Pregnant in the dust where she belongs. Okay? Pay her dust just like Off the Cheap pays their vows. It don't exist. Now, moving on to Doja Cat, Payola Board predicts Scarlett to be nominated as Album of the Year at the 2025 Scammys. Also in reach of getting a nomination for Album of the Year is Zach Bryan, Charlie XCX Brat, Future and Metro Boomin, We Don't Trust You, Post Malone, who else? Kali Uchis, absolutely not. And Casey Musgraves, okay? Now, I like Doja. Doja is extremely talented, but Payola Board, damn well she do not deserve no nomination for Album of the Year. Scarlett was trash. They need to stop the antics. If Doja Cat get a nomination, Nicki Minaj deserves a nomination, okay? I mean, no shade. Ice Spice and Scratch Off might as well get nominations for Album of the Year if Doja Cat gets one, okay? Because no shade, Doja Cat, Scarlett was trash, okay? I only like 2 songs on that album. Definitely not a classic for Doja Cat. And the era kind of came and went. It was not as successful as Planet Her because it wasn't as great as Planet Her. So they need to stop with the antics. Payola Board, I might have to give you Donkey of the Day for this. Saying that she should be nominated, or they predict that she should be nominated. That prediction is trash. Okay, no shade, because it wasn't that great of an album. How can this compete with Queen Bee and the Chart Obsessed Racists? It just can't. Or Billy or Sabrina Carpenter. I mean, come on now. Let's start using our brains. It looks like there might be trouble in Botched Paradise. Okay? Now, Tokyo Styles, who is Botched Pregnant, Divorce, and Bitter's hairstylist, calls Botched and Pregnant out. Okay? Tokyo Styles says, people I worked for, I thought would support me and have not even mentioned or acknowledged that I have a show, not even a congratulations. Then, Tokyo Styles also called out Ken Barbie and said, I find it very interesting that these blogs and so-called friends that own these companies will post you when they make a mockery of you when it's convenient for them to get a clickbait. But when you actually have good positive things going on to post and talk about, it's crickets. I'm not gonna say names, but it's kind of weird to me. Okay, so that might be a shot at Botch Barbie, aka Ken Barbie, the science experiment. Okay, who's also best friends with Botch, Pregnant, Divorced, and Bitter. Now, with that being said, Tokyo Styles, who's been working for Botch and Pregnant since the Nicki Minaj hate train, because Tokyo Styles used to work for Nicki Minaj, Clock That T, has a new show on WeTV called Wigging It Out, or Wigging It Out with Tokyo Styles. So allegedly, Tokyo is calling out Botch and Pregnant for not supporting the show. Okay, but I did see an ad or a commercial of the show, and Botch and Pregnant is in it, okay, getting her hair done. And to be quite honest, I don't think Botch and Pregnant needs to promote her hairstylist show. I don't think she needs to do that. That's not her job. I usually do not side with Botch, Pregnant, Divorced, Bitter, and possibly a druggie. But, you're an employee. Okay, you work for Botch and Pregnant. She does not have to promote your show. Okay, that's not her job. And at the end of the day, Botch and Pregnant is a friend to nobody. Okay, she uses people. She uses bloggers. She uses the people that, work for her and kiss her butt. And then she throws them to the side. She's no better than Megan Thee Stallion. She just has a better way of hiding it. Now, moving on to Megan Thee Stallion. She dropped her new music video, Mamushi. Okay, and she was a serpent in the music video. A lot of fans felt like it was too demonic. And she was half naked and completely naked the whole music video, per usual. I think in all of Megan Thee Stallion's music videos, she's usually naked or half naked. She don't really have any clothes on in the music video because she needs the views. Now, with that being said, Punch TDE allegedly threw some shade at Megan Thee Stallion and basically humiliated Megan. And said it's wild to see demonic practices being passed as spirituality. He said, I guess you can play on the semantics of it. Greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he didn't exist. Wow. Now, hopefully he's talking about the Olympics, because there definitely was some demonic stuff happening, at the Olympics. But the Olympics been going on for weeks now. Okay. This is actually very interesting timing, because Megan Thee Stallion's music video just came out, and now you're talking about demonic stuff. But hopefully, he's not talking about Megan Thee Stallion. This would be humiliating for Megan, especially considering that, she wants to work with Kung Fu Kenny, and TDE Punch is very close to Kung Fu Kenny. Even though he's no longer on the label, they still have a very good relationship. So, I don't think, Megan should be the only person getting called out for doing demonic stuff in her music videos. I mean, she's just doing her symbolisms and rituals that she has to do like everybody else. It's not like she really completely independent. She might tell y'all she independent, but she not really. She worked for these big companies like Warner, and they told her, you got to do your rituals and your symbolisms in your music video. And so that's exactly what she's doing. I don't really think she should be called out for it, though, because everybody does it. And Megan Thee Stallion is a snake/serpent in real life. I mean, we know for a fact that she would snake out one of her friends or family in a blink of an eye. Look what she did to Kelsey, the baby, Tori, EJ. I mean, she is a snake. She was portraying herself. Now, moving on to Queen B. Queen B is vindicated. She is proven innocent. Queen B's lawsuit over Break My Whole sample dropped. A New Orleans group claimed the singer sampled Big Freeda's 2014 track Explode, which they allege used their 2002 song Release a Wiggle without credit. Okay? A lawsuit against Queen B and Sony Music over Renaissance lead single has been dropped. On Thursday, the copyright lawsuit was voluntarily dismissed several months after members of the bounce group, the Showstoppers, sued the singer for allegedly using their 2002 song Release a Wiggle without credit per finally obtained by Bloomberg Law. Okay? So, Queen B has been proven innocent because it was really all actually Big Freeda who sampled them. And then Queen B sampled Big Freeda, so technically it was never her fault anyway, okay? Queen B doesn't steal music anymore. She used to do that in the early stages of her career. She doesn't steal music anymore, so I knew she was innocent the whole time. And it was really Big Freeda who deserved the lawsuit, but Queen B got the big coin. So that's why she was added to the lawsuit, because they wanted Queen B to pay out. But it got dismissed, and Queen B has been vindicated. Congratulations to Queen B. Now, moving on to Scratch Off, it looks like Scratch Off is being sabotaged, according to the fans. Ice Spice Y2K garnered 6.94 million streams on Paolify its opening day, out-debuting Scratch Off Sugar Honey Iced Tea, which garnered only 1.7 million streams on Paolify in one day, okay? But Scratch Off is number one on Apple Music, okay? And Ebro, the head of Apple Music, said that the Scratch Off Shout Out to Me song on her album, she was trying to get in her camel face bag, okay? That's what Ebro said. Now, he is the head of Apple Music, and I believe he's finessing Scratch Off's numbers over there, okay? Because how do you do 1.7 million on Paolify? None of your songs debut on the Paolify charts, but yet you're number one on Apple Music? Very interesting. And then none of her songs are charting on iTunes. So, again, I think her numbers are being finessed on Apple Music so that way she can outchart Ice Spice. Okay? I think that, her label is paying for these numbers on Apple Music. But overall, Scratch Off fans are still worried. They believe that she's being sabotaged on Paolify. A Scratch Off fan said all 21 tracks from Sugar Honey Iced Tea failed to enter on any Paolify charts. Crackpots is not looking good. Section 8 gang and the Thotties, please wake up, cause the Barbs are gonna light our asses up. And allegedly Scratch Off will be doing around 25,000 to 40,000 first week, which isn't too bad for Scratch Off. Okay, I think, 25,000, and I said that before. I said I think she could do 11 to like 25 to 30,000 first week. I said that, a few weeks ago, and y'all was laughing. But I don't think that would be bad for Scratch Off. And no shade, Scratch Off album was better than Ice Spice's. If I have to be completely honest, it was better than Ice Spice's. Not by much, but it still was better. But for me personally, I think City Cinderella is my favorite female rap album of the year. That's my personal favorite. I'm still listening to Red Flowers and Uncle AI and OK and No Bars. And I think JT really did her thing. And she didn't have 50 million features. Scratch Off Had a lot of features. Let's not act like she didn't. She had more than Ice Spice and JT when it came to features. And she basically had Champagne Thickums helping her. She should really be doing over 50,000 first week. You have a new song out with Champagne Thickums. And then you also pimped out your sister Brooklyn to have Champagne Thickums help you out on this album. So in all actuality, you should be doing over 40,000 with the Champagne Thickums cosign, I feel like. So let me know how y'all feel about that. Now, moving on from that, Lifetimes by Katy debuts at 145 on the global Pay-Lo-Fi chart with 1.42 million streams. And it also debuts at number 198 on the US Pay-Lo-Fi chart with 351,000 streams. Okay? So let me know how y'all feel about it. Is this a bop or flop for Katy? You know, these streams are less than what Wonderworld did. Or what was it? Wonderworld or Woman's World? You know, no shade to Katy. Maybe she should go back to American Idol or something like that. You know, maybe she should just pack it up and go back to American Idol. I don't feel like people really care when she drops music. You know, I'm a little bit worried if she drop an album and she do under 100,000 first week. That's not going to be good for Katy. Okay? You know, hopefully she can do at least, 150,000 first week when she drop her album next month. But y'all don't be supporting Katy. Y'all was begging for her back to just not support her. Y'all is fake and phony. Okay? You know, I got to give the Katy Cats, donkey of the day. Y'all should at least have her do 1 million streams on the US Pay-Lo-Fi chart. Y'all said this was a hit. What happened? Now, moving on to Champagne Thickums, the bottom feeder. He is receiving Donkey of the Day. Universal restricted Champagne Thickums content on Plot Twist, his second account, his spam second account, because he was uploading, more unreleased music. And because he signed that $400 million 360 deal, Universal said that he could not release music without their permission. Then they forced Champagne Thickums to put those 3 new songs featuring Scratch Off, 21 Below Average, and Young Thug on streaming platforms. Okay? The reason why Champagne Thickums is receiving Donkey of the Day is because it's clear and it's evident that, one, you're doing everything Kung Fu Kenny accused you of doing. Okay? You definitely need to go to Atlanta to get a check balance. Okay? Because you just did it. And number 2, you're controlled by the labels. You can't do what you want to do. You can't drop when you want to drop. But yet you were trying to act like Kung Fu Kenny was in a sucky contract. Okay, and he had to give top 50 when it's actually you in a sucky contract and you got to give Lucian 100. Okay, because you in that sucky 360 deal. See, you try to put out music for free, but Lucian would not let you. Okay, see, Kung Fu Kenny don't really have that problem because he's not on TDE anymore. Is he independent completely? No. But he's not under TDE. And then also those 3 songs that you dropped with Scratch Off, 21 Below Average, and Young Thug were trash. Okay? None of those songs were hits. They weren't. That's why you wanted to put it out for free. Because you knew those songs weren't hits. You just wanted to put something out to see what will stick. But nothing's gonna stick because you're flopping right now. Okay? You're flopping right now is not the same for you. You need to go on hiatus. The 100 gigs of trash music should have stayed in the stash. And you are everything Kung Fu Kenny said you were. You are a culture vulture. Okay? You got to use other artists to kind of remain relevant in the culture. Okay? You're trying to use Young Thug while he's in prison. You're trying to use, 21 Below Average. And nobody really cares about him. No shade. But he gives you street cred. And you need a female rapper to align yourself with because the female rappers are popping right now when it comes to conversation. Like, the female rappers make more noise in the culture than the male rappers, even though they might not sell more, but they do make more noise. And you want to seem like you're down with the younger generation. That's why you was buddy-buddy with Sexy Red and Gorilla Glue. You're doing the same thing with Scratch Off. So you're receiving Donkey of the Day. But anyway, I got some hot tea on Patreon. Link will be in the description. Have a great day.